What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. This is your mental health check in. How's your mindset? Are you doing okay? Because really, even if it's a situation or situations that you're going through that I may not understand, still open up, please, and talk about what you're going through. Because even if it's, like I said, something that I don't understand, I will still be able to put myself in that situation that you're talking about and say, okay, this is how I would handle your situation if I was the one in your situation, you know? And the reason I say it like that is because, we all go through something different. It's because, like I said also before, we all have a 100% different, but also 100% true story about us. And a lot of times, yes, unfortunately, you have so many people that want to judge and just be cruel towards you, and they think so many people think, oh, this person's got this disability, or this person's got that disability, or this person is this way or that way, or and they'll nitpick and try to find something that they can use to validate the reason why they are the way they are. And the thing of it is, no matter what, no matter what disability you have, or how you look, or anything, no matter your disability or how you look, or whatever the case may be, we all are 100% human, with a 100% different, but also a 100% true story about us. And unfortunately, yes, there's going to be so many people who might say they don't understand. But I'm here to tell you this. A lot of people do understand. They just choose not to want to, act like, they just choose to act like they don't want to understand, or that they don't understand. Like they just don't care. And like I said, unfortunately, there's those kind of people out there. But I'm here to tell you this as well. You're better. You're a hell of a lot better than those kind of people. I promise you that. And I wouldn't be sitting there saying this if it wasn't true. Because I always, no matter what my speeches that I give you, or that I post here on YouTube, it's all 100% true what I tell you. And again, a lot of people might not understand exactly what I say. And again, that's also understandable, not to understand what somebody says. But at the same time, remember that even when you don't understand something, it's okay. It's more than okay to ask questions. Ask the questions, whatever questions it may be that you have. Ask those questions. Because again, when you ask questions, that's how you learn. That's how you learn. And as your, YouTube creator, myself, I encourage you when if you're watching this or any YouTube video that I post, I encourage you to ask questions. Ask any questions that you have, no matter what those questions may be. I don't mind. I don't mind those questions. Like I said, whatever questions they may be. And again, there is no right or wrong questions. Like I say, when you ask questions, that's how you learn. And again, there's no right or wrong answers. Right or wrong questions. Whatever questions that you have about, maybe it's about what's said, or whatever the case may be. It's 100% okay to ask questions. So if you're watching this, I encourage you to ask questions. You can ask me questions as much as you want. I don't care if it's 1,000 questions. I'll still, it might take me a while to get through 1,000 questions. But at the same time, I will go through those 1,000 questions and answer each question. And also, again, when I respond to those questions, to answer those questions, if I see that you have a YouTube channel and I see that I'm not subscribed to your YouTube channel already, not only will I reply to your comments, if and when there's comments, not only will I reply to your comments, but at the same time, I will subscribe to your YouTube channel if I'm not already subscribed. This, as I've said, I want to turn and make this YouTube a working, paying job. For the number one reason is because I love to help people. No matter what, I love to help people get through anything that you or they go through or also have been through. And you're probably thinking, been through? That's talking about the past. Yes, that is. You're right. But at the same time, always remember the past can, and unfortunately does, sneak up on a lot of us. And unfortunately, that, like I say, it's the past can and does uh, sneak up on more. Sometimes it's on more people than others, and that goes with, or depends on what a person goes through. Some people. I say this. Some people go through so much. You know, um, some people go through hell their whole life. Just like some of the things I've told you I've been through. And does it suck going through things? Yeah, it does. You know, especially for someone or many people that have, disabilities. You know, for example, also sitting down, you know, because when you're sitting down and people see you, sometimes people, well, more than sometimes, a lot of people will, judge on things that they don't know. You might be someone that has went through hell, has went through hell your whole life. And you know what? I understand that 100%. Um, no, I may not be going through the same scenario or have went through the same scenarios as you have went through. You know, because again, we only know someone's name, not their story. And we all have a 100% different, but also 100% true story about us. Um, so again, if you go through something, I encourage you to talk about it. Especially if you're going through something and it's weighing down on you. It's like a big weight on your shoulders. Uh, because that kind of feeling, I promise you, is not the best feeling. So again, no matter what you go through, you're going to get through. Sometimes it's going to take you a lot longer, and that's okay. It's okay if it takes you, a long time to get through it. To whatever situation that you're going through. It's okay that, it's taking you a while to get through that situation or situations. You know, um, I use me for example, also 100% true example. Um, my whole life, like I said, I've been through a heartbreak, and a heartbreak. It just seems like that's the only thing that I've ever known. And again, I'm not, trying to point fingers to anybody. Um, but yeah, it's from females, unfortunately. And yes, as I've said, I was called fake once when I asked somebody out. To my face, they pretty much just fibbed to me. And then as soon as I turned my back, they said, he's fake. And then when I called them out on it, they at first was trying to deny it. and then again admitted to it. But here's the thing. No matter whether you're, I think I said this, no matter whether you're up, standing and walking, or maybe you're just like me, or billions of others that are in a wheelchair. When you ask questions, again, that's how you learn. But at the same time, when you ask questions, like I said, as far as questions go, it depends on that. That's on you, to decide what questions that you have. But if you were, like I said this, let's say you're somebody that likes to be judgmental. I'm not trying to call everybody out here, but let me use this as an example. Let's say you're a female that just likes to be judgmental. And you turn down every guy that's unfortunately in a wheelchair. Or again, they could be any disability as well. But think about that. Turn down somebody because they're in a wheelchair. Take that wheelchair away from them. What do you have? Oh, wow. You got a person. A 100% person. 100% human being. They're 100% different. But also 100% true story about them. And yeah, it might be difficult to understand that person or person's story about them. And that's why I tell you, ask questions. Again, what questions? That's on you. What questions asked? That's on you to decide what questions that you have that you want to ask. That's on you. Again, no judgment or, this isn't no picking on nobody. I'm just trying to tell you, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Again, sometimes, pretty much all the time, it's easier said than done. Meaning, okay, you're in a situation where you could ask questions to that person, that has that disability. You could ask questions, and try to, they have about that disability. But sometimes the tricky thing is trying to decide, what questions do you ask? What questions do you have? Again, that's on you to decide, what questions that you have. But always keep that in mind. So no matter what, when you see something like a person with a disability, whatever that disability might be, don't be afraid to ask them about that. Again, I know easier said than done, and there is good people out there. I know for a fact, because I know a lot of them personally. I know a lot of good people personally. But what I'm saying to you is this. Whenever you're around somebody that has a disability, maybe you're around me, who's, like I said, is also born with spina bifida, and mine's level 1, which means my level, my spina bifida, or my level 1 spina bifida, only affects my balance, and that's it. Again, if it's level 2, level 3, or level 4, those are all different forms or levels of spina bifida. And again, the higher the level, the more there is to that spina bifida. Like I said, mine just affects my balance. Okay? Level 2 might be, maybe it'll affect your speech, or maybe it affects your eyes, or maybe maybe it causes you to be an APT. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that that's what that is. What level 2 is. I'm trying to give you examples of what how things could be. But again, look at a person and think, okay, this person was born with this disability. And you might be someone that is unsure about that disability, or if you may be someone that's unsure about that disability. And that's why I encourage you and say to you, ask questions. Ask what questions that you have for that person, maybe, about their disability, or whatever questions that you may have. So always keep that in mind. And always remember, no matter what your disability is, no matter what it is, whether it's a physical disability or even a mental disability, even if it's a mental disability, guess what? I want you to think about this. Whether it's a physical disability, as again, you see someone that's in a wheelchair, like myself, or you see someone that's always on a walker, walking, or on crutches, walking, or uh, a walking cane, walking with a walking cane. You know, think about this. Those persons that have a wheelchair or have crutches or have a walker or even a walking cane, or maybe that person or persons that are walking with a walker or crutches or even a walking cane, maybe that person or persons also has um, braces, uh, and the ones that I wear. I think I said this. The ones that I wear, at least when I'm up, if I'm up walking with my walker, or even if I'm, trying to work with standing, working with crutches, you know, that's what helps me walk. I mean, that's what helps me stand. Um, because again, my ankles, how your ankles when you walk, your ankles bend, they bend, and with that said, since I'm not my ankles aren't strong enough, for me to stand without my braces. That's the whole, that's why I wear braces, to support my ankles. Because my feet aren't, as strong as what somebody else's feet might be. For for the person that's you know that's always been walking their whole life. My feet might your my feet are not as strong as yours. Um, Again, there's people out there that have different disabilities. Um, and because of their disability, it causes something different. Um, like I've told you before, I've got my little brother, as he calls me. No, not blood related, but he looks at me as his older brother, as I look at him as my little brother, because I stuck up for him, because he got bullied. And again, yes, this bully or that bully scared the hell out of me. And he was scared to the point where he didn't know if he was going to be here or not. He didn't know if he was going to be alive because of this bully, or the way this bully was acting, or the way this bully was towards him. But you know what? That's when he ran to me, and I was able to step in, and I was able to step in and see what the situation was, and then was able to get him to right person to tell a name to. And then, like I say, long story short, I get a text the next day. And I thought, no crap. You know, you got to get that gut feeling like, crap, it happened again. That he got bullied. Because, and the reason I say it is because, you know, it's something that always happened. But instead, you know what it was? It was that same person who, again, woman, you know, that was bullied, but told me about it, and I was able to, you know, to step in, get him to the right person to tell a name to. Which, after all that took place, I was able to sit there and, you know, I was able to get him out of that situation. So, what I'm saying to you is this. If you're ever going through something, no matter what it may be, say something. Say something. You know, because there's going to be people out there that when they hear what you go through, there's going to be people out there that will try to do what they can to help you through your situation or situations that you're going through or what you've been through. Because, again, so many people, I'll say this, so many people go through a lot of things, and honestly, yes, at times, more than at times, more than that I can explain it, put it that way. A lot of people go through a lot more than what people realize. You know, and it's not cool to see those people, you know, go through things. And I understand this because, yes, I'm also one person that has went through a ton of things. I mean, more than what I can explain, you know, and I've told you, I've told you some things that I went through, and there's things that I've been through that you've also been through. You know, because I've had people ask me, how do you deal with bullies or deal with mean people? What's the best way to do that? Well, guess what? I've been through those two scenarios. You know, I've dealt with all that. You know, so I know what it's like to get messed with. I'll put it that way. But always remember, you are 100% human. They're 100% different, and also 100% true story about you. No matter your looks, I'm gonna put it that way. No matter your looks, you're 100% human with a 100% different but also 100% true story about you. You know, you could be someone like myself. You could be someone also that that is in a wheelchair. I mean, it could be different reasons. You know, maybe maybe you are an amputee. Um, and that's what caused you to be in a wheelchair. You know, a lot of people might see that and think, wait a minute, I don't understand this. Okay, you don't understand. Why don't you understand? Ask questions. Again, there are no right or wrong questions. And there's no right or wrong answers. You know, when I tell you, about like what I'm born with, you know, I give you the best answer that I can, to my knowledge. You know, things that I know. So with that said, keep being you. Let nothing or no one ever hold you back. Keep smiling. And again, yes, I am making this a working, paying job for the number one reason. I love to help people. Get through any situations that they've been through, or even what they're going through. Because again, yes, the past can and will always syncs up on us all. You know, like I said, some people it can sneak up on a lot more than it does others, but still, just keep that in mind. And I can't say thank you enough to all the 666 subscribers. For all the comments, the shares, the likes. And yeah, I would love to see, just go up a bunch, and, meaning go up a bunch. I would love to see the subscriber count go up a bunch and be able to have this as a working paying job. I take some of that money, if I make money from this, and take some of that and take whatever I make, depending on how much it is, but take what I can and donate it, to people that, or even children, even children, that have some form of cancers, or maybe I can say an amputee, or whatever the case may be, and to try to help that person, and say, oh, okay, well, this person's an amputee of their left leg. What can I do? Oh, that's right. I can, the money that I raise, or the money that I make, I can send to hospitals or places that will make those prosthetic legs or arms, or prosthetic arms, whatever the case may be, so that person can have that arm, that person can have that leg. Yeah, it may be prosthetic. True. 100% true. But when it makes that person, if it makes that person feel whole, then it's more than worth it. And that's, like I said, that's what I want to do. If and when I get paid from here on YouTube, I want to, depending on how much it is, I want to be able to, again, donate and try to help as many people as I can. And I know I can help millions. And like I say, when I see the comments, from people, I was like, this is what I love doing. I love to help people more than what a lot of people really realize. So again, think about that. Just what I mean by think about that, just think about all that I've said from the start of this YouTube video. And like I said, if you're someone that judges, again, I'm not, that's nothing towards anybody. If you're someone that judges, step back a little bit and look at what you're judging and think to yourself, is that really worth, to judge this or that? And the answer is really no. There's no reason to judge. Because again, no matter a person's disability, we're all the same. We're all 100% human. They're 100% different, but also 100% true story about us. So always keep that in mind. With that said, if you haven't yet, if you would please hit that subscribe button. And that would really mean a lot to me. Hit that subscribe button. Also, in the comments, let me know what you would like to hear, next. Or, what would help you. And that's what I'll do. You let me know what you would like to hear, and I'll set things up. And also, again, when you comment, when I respond to your comments, and I see that you have a YouTube channel, and I see that I'm not subscribed to your YouTube channel, I will subscribe to your YouTube channel as well. So keep going. Keep being you. Let nothing or no one hold you back. I'm proud of you. More than you may realize. But I'm proud of you. Just for you being you. Keep going. Keep smiling. And let's get it.